Well, time to see if that did anything. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. In fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact, here we are to review a breakdown. That's a live reaction review. Why is it called Denji? Okay, now I'm scared. I literally just read the chapter. Now I'm a little scared. Wait. Why is it called Denji, man? Why is it called Denji? What? Fujimoto, don't do this. Why is it called Denji? Did Vegeta actually get fried? Please don't tell me Vegeta actually got fried. No. Fujimoto, you wouldn't do that. Fujimoto. Don't tell me Vegeta actually got fried by that. I mean, it looks like Yoru got fried by that. Okay, but sorry. Got a little bit of existential horror flowing through my bones right now. Here we are for chapter 222, all twos, of Chainsaw Man, which is known as Denji Man. And I'm interested. That title alone kind of has me worriedly excited. But let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into it. Alright, so it looks like La Bomba Nuclear Punch actually, it did something. Jeez. But you know what, though? Not as much vaporization as I thought. I mean, like, clearly, even, like, seemingly enough, it's hard to tell, though. Like, one thing I was going to say is, well, it looks like even Yoru took damage from it. But at the same time, it seems like for some reason, I mean, maybe this is a little bit different for some of, like, the actual D-top here. So I guess the main thing with Yoru and Makima both is that they're still technically, like, embodied in human form. But it seems like Chainsaw Man is just generally one of those universes where your AP doesn't really scale at all to your durability. Like, Yoru was atomized by her own attack here, clearly, even though she contained the energy to release the attack. And usually, whenever you have as much energy in your body and you release the attack, you scale to the amount of energy you release, because, like, you contain it within your body already. But, clearly, all that external power was way too much for Yoru to handle, because she clearly needs to regenerate from this. I wonder how many people in that state that caused. But, alright, she made it, though. She's fine. So let's see how Pochita is doing. Interesting, though. Even the clothes regenerated, which I'm assuming means Falling's regenerative powers are still active. All right. I'll admit, though, that's kind of a crazy land, though, too. Going from the head to the upper torso, the torso regenerating into a backflip into the land for the full. Okay, I see you. You're looking at your emotion. Let's see. Oh, yo, imagine she's broke her legs. I mean, like, I get it, you know, they're still superhuman, right? But there are clearly levels of power that even the Chainsaw Man top tiers, while they have access to, they don't tank it. Which isn't, like, the worst thing out there. It's just bad in, like, hypothetical matchups where you put them against characters who do scale to the same feats. Because obviously, you wouldn't put Yoru up against city block level characters, you'd put her up against characters who can compare to, you know, absorbing and throwing entire land masses, such as states. But at the same time, if Yoru gets hit by one of those, she's fried. But she doesn't have the... Like, I don't know. In fact, I always wondered that. Like, in a Chainsaw Man Crossverse debate, do we just give certain characters their contracts anyway? Do we then, like, say, yeah, even though it's Crossverse, and, like, they're presumably fighting in, like, a neutral battleground, or even in the other universe, they technically kind of do need access to their contracts? Like, Yoru would become a lot less dangerous if you didn't have to annihilate her, whatever the population of that state is, many times over. Same thing with Makima, right? Like, the reason Makima's so annoying to get rid of is because, and I think, honestly, Makima's contract is even better than Yoru's, right? Because I believe what happens is Makima gets redistributed as a sickness, but it's not instantly fatal. Meanwhile, with Yoru's contract, every time she perishes, just someone else perishes. So, like, that's actually a more limited number. It's why Makima would be a lot more annoying to deal with, legally speaking, I think. Let's see. She lands. Oh, yeah. Yeah, oh, yeah, everybody else who was there. Oh, so I do wonder if this is going to pay off on the idea that, like, she did technically just destroy the boundary. Like, was it really established as the boundary, or was it, like, a door? Because, like, obviously it was a punch door. Like, I wonder, clearly, since the La Bomba Nuclear punch, like, annihilated everything in the radius, does that technically mean there is no boundary anymore? Or did she just, like, blow up a door? And thus, like, now the door isn't there, so you can't leave either. Like, can the D's that are now presumably alive, because Lil D is gone, like, are they just fried? Can they never go back home? I mean, like, presumably they can't do much of anything, because clearly is one of them just headless. Oh! Yoru's like, you know what, though? I give her credit. She does apologize. Oh, sorry. You know, baby steps. That sounds crazy to say. But, like, baby steps. She did apologize to her allies. Ah! You know what? Me too. If I had my entire like neck down. That's not even like your entire lower body. If I had a majority of my body atomized, I too would simply scream in agony. And like that's the thing, they can't perish. But I've been saying it. Pain, suffering, despair, like none of that's gone. It's just Lil D. It's just Lil D. So I guess they're just stuck, right? I mean, like, maybe if they get some, they can regenerate. But she did just annihilate the entire area full of people. But then again, they'll be alive. It's like, they'll live. I'm like, how much is left after something like that? But in fact, I do now have a question, now that we know, because it does seem like the comic sentence from last chapter is that Michigan Sword got off-screen. Like, that was just done off-screen. That's why it transitioned to Oregon Sword. But, with it being the case, what happens to the people? Like, Yoru ate all of the people of Virginia in order to, you know, punch with a nuclear fist. Are they just gone? In fact, wait a second. How is your... Wait, hold on. Now I have even more questions. This didn't even click with me last chapter. How is Yoru's contract still functioning? Am I tweaking? Because I thought her contract was based on the idea of, like, if she would take mortal damage, she could only regenerate if someone... Or, like, if someone in... That's... I don't know why I'm so saying this, but, like, you know what I'm talking. The one she has the contract with that, like, secures her immortality. The conditions for that contract can't be anywhere. How is she regenerating? Is that like a buy? Like, are they just going into like the waiting? I just watched Sir Superheroes rewatched because I've watched it already. Sir Superheroes video on mutant resurrection in Krakoa. So like, I have it on the mind, like the waiting room in the Marvel concepts. But like, are they just like chilling in the waiting room right now? Because like technically they can't perish. So like, how did Yoru regenerate just now? Because that was the condition. That's why I said Makima's contract was typically better. Because, like, you know, a sickness can be bad. But, you know, people can undergo multiple sicknesses. They don't immediately perish from a sickness. So, like, I don't actually know how that's working now. I don't think Fujimoto meant me to question that. So I won't too much. That's also one of those things that was actually kind of interesting seeing in a world without, you know, Lil D. How do, like, certain contracts that rely on Lil D work? I don't know though, but clearly we see at least with the capital D's, they just live and suffer. Let's see. All right, sweat drop. What you looking at? Oh, well, I mean, unless I'm mistaken, Yoru, that love bomb nuclear punch was kind of weak. What do you mean the whole city's still intact? I mean, like obviously there are people most like vaporized. Oh. That poor individual has like stakes in their back. Yeah, mostly vaporized. Ooh, that's right through the tummy. Ooh, one's burning alive. All right. One got their entire back blown out, and not in the fun way. Oop, yep, in the guts, kind of freaky. Oh, water. Only half burned. Like, Yoru. I don't want to have to put you on the list, but like, do I have to call it fraud 1-1? Like, I'd be like, I know she did like annihilate all the doors to the underworld and stuff like that, but like, Yoru, this is kind of weak sauce, ain't it? Like I know that people can perish, right? So like, unironically, these two are still alive, right? Like these two are still alive, but like, everything's still so intact. Yoru, did you have a range of like 2 feet? Like, obviously not. Like, people got hurt, but like, I don't know, Yoru. For how big, like, I was kind of expecting more. Yoru, I don't care if you can't be low-key the strongest character in the verse right now. You're kind of a mob. Let's see. Oh, well, yeah, hey, you know, look at that connection. Three A's and H and exclamation point from a D. 3 A's and exclamation point. H and an exclamation point from a human. Like, is he like he's not okay? He's not okay. But like, especially since he can't. Like, that's the thing. What is the limit, right? Like, what is like? I guess it's just whatever the human body's limit is before perishing. Like, is that gonna get a burn forever if he doesn't get put out? Like, he can't. Like, no, the fire would just eventually go out. Huh. That's the thing. Like, ultimately, Lil D being removed is like a really complicated question. So I'm fine with Fujimoto exploring it like this. Because like a question would be, because we know it's like a universal flatline conceptual like erasure thing. Like it's just gone. So technically, in that case, could a fire go out? Does a fire count as a living thing? Because, like, realistically, stars aren't living things, but they die. Galaxies, not living, they die. The universe, eventually. Long time after. But, like, even the universe itself was forecasted to... So, like, would a fire go out? Are they just burning forever? I don't know. Weird stuff. Let's see. Oh! Oh! Water! Why am I laughing? See, this is how bad Chase is. Why did I laugh at that? I think I was thinking of the SpongeBob moment. That's why I laughed. Alright, don't do this to me. Let's see. Water! Oh! Oh, wait! Vegeta, no! Vegeta, no! What happened, gang? What do you mean you got fried by that? Well, to be fair. No, what do you mean you got fried by that? Some of the humans didn't even get fried like you got fried. Where's your body? She punched you in the face. Where's the rest of your lower body? Vegeta! I can put you on the watch! How can you be doing this to you, Vegeta? You were supposed to be the one non-fraudulent character and you lost! Again? Well, yeah, again! To be fair, he was jumped the first time. I mean, like, does this count as, like, does Yoru fighting in the way she does now with, like, the contract and all the other, I guess it does still legally count as jumping, right? Like, it just, they didn't really matter. Like, the people feel a thing, man. Like, she wasn't gonna beat him without the people of Virginia. So, like, does this still legally count as a jump? Like, do I have to put you both on the watch? One for the scale of Yoru's attack is not being that bad. I mean, it was in the sky, though. It was in the sky. So, like, yeah, it's like, I'm trying to, like, run calculations in my leg. I don't know, though. Stroking the beard, thinking about it. I don't know. Like, I kind of want to put Yoru on the watch, because her attack scale wasn't that big, and she also had to, like, devour millions of people just to reach this point. But at the same time, I low-key want to put Pochita on the watch, too, dog. You, like, mortally wounded her last time. Then again, though, Pochita's all, like, it's weird to determine where Pochita's power level sits, right? Because I saw even debate in last week's comment section, like, does Pochita get the same amp from eating other Ds if he erases them, right? Like, we know that certain Ds can get amps by eating pieces of other Ds, right? Like, that was a whole big plot point in part 1, where Ds that ate pieces of the Splagooter D, like, got massive giga amps for one reason or another. Well, not for one reason or another, because consuming the flesh of other Ds amps Ds. But, like, technically, Pochita may have not actually gotten an amp from eating Lil D, because, like, they were erased, right? Like, Pochita's belly doesn't, like, exist. Well, it exists, but it exists in, like, a weird pocket void space that kind of, like, deletes things. So, like, Pochita may have not gotten an amp from that. So they may just be dealing with, like, the sorta amp Pochita. Because Pochita was getting nerfed massively all throughout part 1. And then he started getting a little bit of the amp back thanks to the Chainsaw Man Church. But, like, I still don't think we've seen Prime Pochita, like, in an extended fight. At the same time, though, is this really Prime Yoru? I guess technically she is. Because she, like, technically restored to the height of her powers with the recreation of La Baba Nuclear. So, like, I guess, you know, I won't put Pochita on the watch. In fact, I should put Pochita on the opposite of the watch. Because despite getting punched in the face and point blank eating the entire thing, his face is still mostly intact. And, like, he even has some skeleton left. So, like, you know what, Pochita, you're free to watch. Yoru, though, I think you have to put you on the watch, because not only did you have to giga jump this man, you had to sacrifice how many millions of people? How many states, Yoru? How many states have been, like, if I look at the map of the country, how many states are gone, Yoru? How long were you fighting this man? Oh no, let's see. Chainsaw Man. Oh. Yeah, but yeah, it makes sense, she's still alive. Uh-oh. Yoru's like, actually... Yoru's in her head like, did I actually clutch up? Did I actually get the victory royale? Oh, Jacob, am I going to... Let's see. She's crying. Oh, wow, wait. So many people are suffering because of my power. Oh, and they'll never be released from their... She's crying tears of joy, ain't she? Because, like, this is... When I think about it, this is the worst timeline, like, legally speaking, right? Like, this is the worst timeline. Like, this is the thing that had Asa being like, hey, we gotta stop you. She's gonna be real bad. Like, we cannot let Yoru keep existing, Daddy. We gotta work with it. So, like, legally speaking, this is the worst time. Because this is a case of technically the only thing is the one issue, right, is that Yoru would eventually get bored. Like she would have to perfect sell it, kind of, sort of. Like she can't put everyone in the state, or else who's going to war, right? Like that's the main issue in a world without Lil D, but still permanent injury, right? It's not like these people are going to suddenly regenerate; they just can't perish. But like, I highly doubt any of the people in the range of her attack are going to be able to fight anymore. I highly doubt the millions of people she sacrificed in order to get the Bomba Nuclear Punch off. I highly doubt they're going to be able to do anything anymore. It's like, she's eventually gonna run out of people. Which is that, like, how would that, considering they're powered by the fear of humans, would, like, wiping out every single human just, like, act, like, would that be, like, the Ouroboros finally devouring itself? Like, it just, and then it just pops out of existence? I guess? Like, that's the thing. But I suppose since they can't parrot, like, there's always going to be humans. So I guess, technically, the Ouroboros is, like, ever continuing. But, like, she's just gonna, like, unironically, the more people she destroys, she's just gonna keep getting weaker and weaker and weaker and weaker. Because, like, how are you gonna fear something that can't happen? Because no one's in the state to do it. Let's see. They'll never be released from their pain. Oh, okay. That may be the person that was on fire before. So at least the fire seems to go out. So it seems like it may just be Lil D for all living things. So I guess eventually the sun will still consume. I guess eventually the sun will die and still consume the planet. So like, legally speaking, it's not over. Like Lil D wasn't entirely erased. So well, that's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Yep, there it is. This world, it's a dream come true. You're all the character development for what? You're all the character development. Well, you know what though? I still think the character development is still present. I think it's just through the very, very, very twisted lens of Yoru's mind. Right? Like this ultimately still is her character development. It still does make sense within the context of the character. But like now, I suppose we're gonna need Denji Man to save us. Let's see. It's a dream come true. Okay, smart, okay. Smart, so she's clutching up right now, alright. Split. Chainsaw Man, save us. Will that be enough? I wonder if that's gonna be enough. Alright, Yoru. Wait, Yoru, no! Yoru! Yoru! I mean, I get it. You won, and you want to just be over with it. But, like, Yoru! You know what funny thing is, though? If anything, you would think Yoru would want that, right? Like I talked the last chapter a lot about how Yoru technically is like the perfect embodiment of war in many ways. It's senseless, it's crazy, it's absurd in many ways. It doesn't really make much sense in our modern day. Like if in the grand scheme of things, when you look at war from like it's weird, 'cause I wouldn't say like I was getting philosophical last chapter, but like if you look, ironically enough, I'd say it's like the opposite of philosophical. If you look at war from like a logical standpoint, it to many degrees, just even in their modern day too, like 1999, because where's the story set? It doesn't really make much sense, just generally. But on top of that, like war by its nature, especially in our modern day, is kind of meant to be endless. It's kind of meant to just go over and over and over and over and loop, right? Like there are wars that have been being fought for decades. Whether they be like active direct wars or subtle war, like there have been wars that have just been going on endlessly, and that's kind of the thing, right? Because ultimately, war generates profit, and profit generates war. It's like it's an Ouroboros once again with that idea. So I'm actually kind of shocked that Yoru just wants to stop fighting here. I mean, I guess she wants to win, but ultimately that kind of differentiates herself. Well, I guess it still technically does fit into the criteria, right? Because she's ending the war with Chainsaw Man doesn't necessarily mean she's ending all war. She's just gonna start a new one, presumably using Chainsaw Man. So like, I guess that still fits into the general theming of war, not just being endless, but like endless and like ever changing, and in a bad way, like all the time. Let's see, off, and they're still alive. So like now the question is, if I like say a surgeon were to teleport in and like put her head back on, would she be fine? Like her body can't perish. Neither can her head. It's like, what, like, is she, like, once again, she's stuck in stasis? Like, how does that work? I don't know. Let's see. Alright. Chainsaw Man. Can't move anymore, can you? Then I win. Yeah, well, I guess legally speaking. But, yeah, it's interesting to think about, though. But, I mean, that makes sense, you know? See, I'm scared. I'm scared, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. But, if you're even slightly aware about the current state of the world right now, you know that even when a war ends, it'll only end temporarily. And then it'll just restart. And if not restart, it'll be perpetuated somewhere else. Even if, like the previous war, there's no motivation to perpetuate it outside of greed and the endless seek of infinity in a finite world. So, it is very apt that while this one war is won, there's still but another. Yoru will never be satisfied, because ultimately, greed can't really be satisfied, can it? Someone cooked here. Let's see. Then I win. Thanks for creating such a wonderful world for me as your last hurrah. Once its people descend into hatred and warfare, it'll be perfect. But like that's and you know, funnily enough, her belief in that is also very, very true to like how nonsensical that is in the grand scheme of it. Like that's not gonna happen. What everyone looks like the people around here. It's like people are not going to be able to war forever. They still need to be able to functionally move, which eventually they won't be able to do. You cannot hold a weapon if you don't have hands to hold them with. But at the same time, that's very true to war in our world, right? You wipe out entire people. How are you going to keep fighting those people? Oh, we'll just choose a new people. And then a new people. And then a new people. And what happens when no one's left? Oh. Well. Like that. That is how some people think. They just don't care. It's very much, you don't think beyond your own 2 feet. Or your own very next step. And even sometimes you don't even think that far. You only think of the current step you're on. Not thinking about how, ultimately, step after step after step after step after step, you're eventually going to turn the weapon closer and closer and closer and closer until you can only turn the weapon on yourself. Or you just can't turn the weapon on anybody. Or there's nobody even left to do anything. But let's see. Once its people descend into hatred and warfare, it'll be perfect. The loser belongs to the winner. I'll take you to my world as a weapon. So I guess she's just completely forgot about Lil D. Where's Fammy now that I think about it? Did she get a buff? Maybe. Like, where is she? She wasn't like annihilated or anything. Like technically she's now the only loose end horseman, right? Because Nagita's gone. And I don't think there's been a new control yet. Lil D was eaten before our very eyes. And then it just leaves... Am I stupid? Yeah, that just leaves Fammy and Yoru, so, whatever. Let's see. I'll take you to my world as a weapon. And then what happens when you run out of people to use that weapon on Yoru? And go fight darkness or something? Let's see. Oh, alright. He looks so small here. He looks so small. Let's see. Let's see. I'll call you... I mean, you could literally call him Man Chainsaw. if you want to be funny with it. Could call him Man Chainsaw, considering that's what he'd be. Let's see. I'll call you... Okay. Alright. Super, no, ultra... Huh? Yeah, I'm I'm just confused. What? Alright. So, okay. That's weird. So, like... I guess it makes sense, because, like, Pochita transforms out of Denji every single time. But I never thought about the idea that Denji's literally just in there. Huh. I mean, I guess that makes sense. I don't, like, where would his body go? But, where did that come from? Well, I guess, you know what, he may have just healed. Because the woman actually did... So, you know what? The woman may have actually just, like, saved all of humanity somehow. Because, like, she did clutch up. Because I'm guessing Denji literally just regenerated. Interesting that he regenerates first, though. Like, his body takes priority over Pochita Black's body. Let's see. Alright, threw up a peace sign. Peace in the face of war. You know that. Let's see. What? Yo, baby. I win. What? Excuse me? You played paper and I played scissors. You lose. My glorious goal! My glorious fat brain! Wait. Isn't that literally what she did against Falling? That's literally, he stole her he wasn't even there! This is actually gonna work. This is actually gonna work. Wait. If this actually works, Denji may have the highest battle IQ in all I've ever seen. Really? You played paper and I played scissors. You lose. Which means I still belong to me. Is this actually gonna work? Yoru's powers are cartoon logic, bro. Is this actually gonna work? Did he actually negate the fact that he took it? Which means I still belong to me. Ultra Chainsaw Man. Why would you make him a Spagooter? Why would you? I mean, well, he could be a big Spagooter that like fires chainsaw, like that could be cool. But still, see, can't tell me. It actually worked. Ladies and gentlemen, it's cinema. It's that he actually, and you know what? It works so well. Because not only is like the peace sign just like trademark to Denji in general, right? Like he does that all the time. Like I'm thinking, like some of Denji's most famous panels include him hitting that. But on top of that, it is a mix on exactly what Yoru did. She used the cartoon logic against Falling, right? Where Falling had played paper, Yoru played scissors, and she won, right? Rock, paper, scissors. And we know Yoru's powers work on her like dumb, stupid, weird, backwards, crazy conception thing. Like she needs to believe in things in order for them to work. And as long as she believes in them, they'll work. But technically, since she does believe in the ideas of games, literally, Denji says himself. Because you just perceived yourself. Wait, hold on. This is not even Denji's voice. Man, it's been a bit of his voice. Hold on. See? You can't turn me into a weapon now. Because you just perceived yourself as having lost to me. Yep, it's all about perception. That's actually genius. I like that. And the fact that it works. You know what? Funny thing is, in most contexts, if it wasn't Yoru, and it wasn't Chainsaw Man, and it wasn't Denji, in most contexts, you would hear me losing it. And not in the positive way that I'm losing it right now. You hear me losing, saying this is dumb, this is a weird abuse of the powers, like this is stupid. But not only has it been thoroughly established, especially recently, right? I was talking about that, like Yoru's powers work by this weird, silly, backwards cartoon logic that don't really make sense, but ultimately still do fit into the thematics of war, right? Because in many ways, the many developments and ways that humans have developed to just slaughter each other in mass using weaponry don't really make sense. They're very cartoon logically. Tiny thing, big explosion, wipe out millions of people. Like it's dumb. It's silly. It's stupid. And it's all in once again, war in general. It's just like a thing of perceptions, right? You're the bad guy. I'm the good guy. I'm the bad guy. You're the good. Like, it's all an idea of perceptions. The whole idea of history as history is written by the winners and stuff like that. Like, all of that is so heavily perception based. So it makes sense that Yoru's powers, being the literal embodiment of war, would also be very perception based. And it also makes sense that see, the thing is, though, I don't want to call war childish, because it's horrific. It's a horrific thing that takes the lives of countless innocent people. But in many ways, think of the people who perpetuate wars and think of how, for what nonsense or stupid or childish reasons it is. So ultimately, it makes sense that in this moment, based on how Yoru's powers have long since been established to work, Yoru's powers have been based around perception since she's been introduced. If she believes she owns it, if she believes she's won, then she does own it, then her powers activate. Denji beat her in this moment, in the same way she beat Falling and then got custody over Falling. So yeah. That's it. And I think that works. I think that works. And for Denji in particular to do this, yeah, makes sense. Who at this point, unironically, just in the same way. And funnily enough, this goes back to like maybe 10, 20 chapters ago. I was talking about the ideas of like how Denji is slowly becoming more D-like, but ultimately Yoru as a byproduct is also becoming more and more human-like. And that weird mix. It essentially was a question of like, who's gonna meet who on the other side first? And in a way, this is Denji winning that debate, answering that question, right? Being like, oh, well, Denji won. In the sense that Yoru's silly perception of human games and stuff like that, her own humanity in many ways is backfiring against her. While Denji played underhand, he played dirty, which also is in many ways human. So he wins. And in this case, looks like he got enough juice to start it up. He's pulling his own starter. Let's see. Then lose again. Yoru, I think you're fried. I think this is it. Bang. Okay, wait, Denji, please. Oh, well, darn, it actually did work. Oh, nope, clearly didn't work, though. She did let one off, though. Hey, looks like Pochita's strongest D powers and my high school educated genius brain have combined. Oh. Oh, Denji Man was quite literal, huh? Oh. Oh. That's neat. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. Is this actually going to be stronger than Pochita? Yeah. I mean, interesting. I mean, he didn't get much blood. Okay, let's see. I'll spell it out for you. You lose, baby. Cinema. Cinema. You know what? There's no other way for the battle to end other than something weird and crazy like this. So, you know, it works. It works. All right. I like it. Let's see. Let me look at this design for a second, though. Interesting. It does seem to be a merger in many ways of Pochita's base and Denji's base. Or no, like, not Denji's base, but like Pochita's transformation and Denji's transformation. You can tell by like just the shape and coloration of the head. I'm assuming like this even looks like the typical like bright orange armor of Pochita rather than the black of Pochita Black. Then the horns are an interesting detail. If anything, the horns actually kind of remind me of Power. Weirdly enough, like they don't actually fit Denji. The eye being open as well. Pochita typically does have the all black. Hold on, in fact, I can literally. Yeah, but like typically Pochita doesn't even have eyes, right? But you can see the regular Denji transformation chainsaw head here. He even has the back of the thing, which I don't think Pochita, like, does Pochita have the handle on the back of his head? I think no. I think it's like a Denji exclusive thing. So he still has the handle. He still has the handle on the back of his head. So that's a cool detail. He only has interesting. Like Pochita technically also only has 2 arms, but he has 4 arms because like his arms like they split at the forearm here. So he has 2 arms, but they split into 4 forearms. But that hurt my own head saying that. I thought it meant that. But with it being the case, you can see here that he only has the 2 arms. And notably, they look very, very fractured. Like this does seem like a very cobbled together form. Like almost like I wouldn't be shocked if this form is incomplete. That may sound mean, right? But like I'm not even saying that Fujimoto couldn't draw like an actual proper fusion between Denji's transformation and Pochita's transformation. No, I think like ironically, Denji Man is just getting started here. Because, like, look at how fractured and, like, weirdly cobbled together the arm looks. Like, you can barely see fingers here. He's barely gripping a fist. You can see how cracked it is. It's like, it looks like it's almost, like, mid-transformation. But if this is the final form, that's fine, too. Because, once again, Denji is a mess, right? Like, he is a mess. And so it's like this fusion either works as an incomplete form or as a complete form. And I like it. That's the thing. Hold on. Where is it? W chapter. I like it a lot. And I think I like it for how absurd it is. How absurd it is and how well that absurdity fits into not just like it fits on every level. Yoru as a character, as both a literal embodiment of war, right? Like what she's meant to be, the fear of war embodied. It works on that level. It works on like the conceptual level of like what war is, or at least how I perceive what war is. And it still works on the character level for Yoru, because the whole idea of her losing in rock, paper, scissors specifically, when that wasn't the game being played, just in the same way that she beat falling, playing rock, paper, scissors, the game that wasn't being played, that works. And Yoru's own silliness, right? Like one of the big things about Yoru, right? Despite how ominous and threatening and crazy and evil and diabolical she's been throughout the entire narrative, like she's still a silly little guy. like not a silly little guy in the literal sense, like she's a silly little guy. You know, like, that's been an established part of the character for the longest time. Remember, this is the same woman that decided that, yeah, the best way to get you to fall in love with Denji is if I got freaky with your body on Denji. Let's do that. And that's led to Nayuta's reintroduction, if you remember that. So, like, this has long been standing as a part of Yoru's character, and a part that kind of needed to be used against her. Because it's clear that, no matter what, even with, like, the contract weirdness that I talked about earlier in the chapter, like, how is she regenerating without, you know, people being able to perish, considering that was the conditions of her contract, I do believe. That doesn't matter. Because ultimately, or no, it does matter, because even when things shouldn't be working, they work. But because of that, there was no way that Pochita, even with his endless, never-ending power and regeneration going on and on and on, he never would have won in like a just typical fight. The only way to beat Yoru would be to beat her at her own game, beat her in her levels of absurdity, beat her in her perception, do something so outlandish that Pochita, who admittedly is definitely a shockingly emotionally intelligent character. I say that just because, you know, he's typically rah, 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 but like, shockingly emotionally intelligent character, he was never going to throw up a peace sign. I don't think he literally could with his hands. like can he do that? Like, I guess it'd be like this, because the chainsaw comes out like the middle of his hand, so like, he could have never done that. it would be Denji who would come up with this. It would be Denji, who's known Yoru very, very well. And I think that's why it works so well. It's a culmination of Yoru's character and her losing to the exact same nonsense that she's voiced on so many other people, fitting into her thematics as the embodiment of war, the living fear of it, and the concept of it. And then it works with Denji. Denji, funnily enough, the boy's got some pretty darn high battle IQ, right? Like, remember how he overcame Makima too, by exploiting that character flaw that he specifically noticed about the person he had spent a decent amount of time with. This is a very, very similar end to part 1 in that sense, where he overcame Yoru in this conflict specifically because he knew Yoru. Even if he, for the longest time, couldn't tell the difference between Asa and Yoru, he knows Yoru. He spent time with her. He got to see her character flaws. So Denji, who is also very emotionally intelligent, very on ball, very high battle IQ in many ways, he would be the one to figure out this loophole. He would be the one to exploit it. And funnily enough, where I would almost be like, I don't like how coincidental it is. Like, oh, he's lucky that perfectly timed, there was a woman with the perfect wound on her body after seemingly being vaporized or hit with something that should have vaporized her, that came and gave him enough blood to presumably even do this, right? Because it looks like he was fried. Like, he was fried. Ultimately, Yoru was about to weaponize what remained of him, but he got that. And I think that, once again, it sort of feeds into Denji's narrative of, like, no matter what, he gonna keep living. it's almost like the worst version of main character powers. Denji's gonna always go through it, and to go through it, needs to be alive. So of course there was that perfectly timed thing. And once again, because Yoru is simultaneously our main antagonist yet also our deuteragonist, her inability to register certain things, and such being the value of humans and their faith and their belief, also works to feed into the whole character. Like, it feeds into Yoru's lack of understanding and respect for humans, which then feeds into Denji's respect and understanding of the power of humans. So, like, it all works. The chapter's just gas. So overall, W chapter. If you made all the way to this review, please do me a favor and leave scissors beats paper, dog. And obviously, you know, the one last, like, the symbolism of, like, peace triumphing over war, like, peace sign, you know, like, I see it. But leave scissors beats paper in the comment section and down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below where you support me for as low as $1 a month. The links like exclusive videos, early content, and more. So now become a member to the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include the live reactions, share the series I have to review, ad variations of all my videos, early access to all my videos, and by all my videos, I do mean all of them, not just the videos over here, but the videos on the second channel, that guy with the reaction, which will be linked in the description down below. I drop like 45 to sometimes 2-hour long reaction videos over there every Saturday, 1 p.m. EST. You get access to all that. And on top of that, you get your name listed at the end of literally every single video I produce, not just over here on this channel, but also over there on the second channel. Your name will appear. And of course, if you are a $3 member or higher, you get your name read aloud at the end of every single video, not just listed. And on top of that, if you just want to drop 5 beans for a short video or 25 beans for a long video, for the one time, there's a Ko-Fi description down below. You can hit that up real quick. But now I want to thank you so much for watching. Once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with a Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Glacier XZ, Zera, Brandon Payne, J2MA, Yomi, Buddha Ura, Enzo, Swiss Strike, Super Flame Zero, Yuki Ally, Striker Man, Grim, Ollie, The Boy, Corey Watson, Damon Brown, Magic, CCC, Ramondo Furen, Dino, Heath Nelson, Hector Gonzalez, Black Sage, Tim Thomas, Alex Kenny, Kaving, Julian Perez, 8SOA, Akolade Babatunde, Union I, RXN, Nevis97, Sheesh King, Logan Guzman, Karina Hernandez, Window Life, Dead Meme, Karudir, Reina, Christian Carter, Jagoda, Keon Stewart, Donovan McIntosh, Sino King, Hamza Idrisi, BNA DNA, Edwin Igbinoba, Cyan, Straw, Cybersage 12, Athenzi Shear, Antavius Mitchell, Plant Crone, and Azo2404. Then, let's give a thank you to Artline Art Tier patrons: A+A, Kevin Encarnacion, Sean, Dreadzoan, and Norgazi Andasov. Then, let's give a thank you to our Ink Tier members: King RTX and Shrimpo the 4th Shrimp 06. And let's give a thank you to our Digital Art Tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And let's give a final thank you to our Colored Art Tier patrons: Walkie Munoz and Walkie Munoz.